Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Wright, and in today's session, we're diving into two important tools used in mental health and social work practice. That is the DSM-5 and the ICD codes. We're going to break down what these tools are, why they're used, and how to choose between them. I'll also walk you through a practical example of how we apply these codes when diagnosing a mental health condition. Let's start with the DSM-5, which stands for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, 5th edition. This manual is used primarily in the United States by clinicians and social workers and other mental health professionals to diagnose mental health conditions. As you see, the DSM-5 categorizes mental health disorders, providing detailed criteria for each diagnosis. It's important because it helps us maintain consistency when assessing mental health across different professionals and settings. Now, let's talk about ICD, which stands for the International Classification of Diseases. The ICD is used globally and is maintained by the World Health Organization. The most recent variations are ICD-10 and ICD-11, which include not only mental health diagnosis, but all health conditions. It's used more frequently in hospitals and healthcare systems around the world, and it's essential for billing and insurance purposes. So, when should we use the DSM-5 versus the ICD codes? The DSM-5 is more commonly used by mental health professionals, particularly in outpatient and clinical settings, because it provides detailed criteria specifically for mental health diagnoses. On the other hand, if you're working in a hospital or a broader healthcare system or dealing with insurance, you are more likely to use the ICD codes, as they cover a wider range of health conditions, including physical health. Now, let's walk through a practical example of how we'd apply these tools. Meet Alex, a 25-year-old who comes to us presenting with severe anxiety and frequent panic attacks. Based on our clinical assessment, we determined that Alex meets the criteria for generalized anxiety disorder. In the DSM, we look up the diagnostic criteria for generalized anxiety disorder to ensure Alex's symptoms match. We find the corresponding DSM-5 code F41.1 and use that to document the diagnosis. Next, if Alex's case were being handled in a hospital or for insurance purposes, we would use the corresponding ICD-10 code, which for generalized anxiety disorder is also F41.1. As you can see, sometimes the DSM-5 and the ICD codes are the same, but that's not always the case. It's important to check which system is required for your setting. To summarize, both the DSM-5 and ICD codes are essential tools in mental health and social work. DSM-5 is more detailed for mental health diagnoses, especially in clinical settings, while the ICD codes are broader and used in hospital and for insurance. When working with clients like Alex, knowing which tool to use and when is crucial for accurate documentation and care planning. That's it for today's session on DSM-5 and ICD codes. Remember, whether you're using the DSM-5 or ICD, the most important thing is to understand how these tools support the care you provide to your clients. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next microlearning video.